During these two times, Dragon Ball and Kanye's career found themselves at an all-time high. We're talking bingo, caps, commercials. Left and right, center, and I mean, Dragon Ball was everywhere. This very same fame extended overseas. Kanye was a worldwide entity with a level of passion and variety never seen before in the rap game. Mesmerizing and alienating, like all the purest forms of pop culture. Its music is a rush of designer adrenaline, personally insatiable self-justification. It's a paradigm you love to hate. With Kanye's ego at an all-time high and with one of the greatest success stories ever.
What I would do if I
Donda.
It immediately stops when Kanye's biggest tragedy hits the door. The death of his mother, who independently raised him, has died from issues of her surgery. Not much after the separation from his fiancée, Kanye shut down at his highest. Yet, the world still craved his music. They still wanted him to go on tour, a new album, and Kanye to be the star of the year once again.
Give in to your anger. Let it flow through you. There's no need to hold it in any longer.
Now, I have already shared how I felt about the beginning of the Cell Saga in my previous video. It's very messy. Frieza is back after the poetic conclusion he received in the Namek Saga, and for the only reason being to gas up this guy. Who is this guy? Well, he's the future child of two characters that have never spoken to each other. But, you know, he has a dope-ass sword, and it's fire how he slices Frieza up. And seriously, it's iconic, but it doesn't serve much purpose narratively. And you probably want to say, yo, who cares about narrative? It's fire. And you know, you're probably right. This is the point that I think Dragon Ball started earning a stereotype as a hype-over-story shonen. And I can't really argue for it with moments like this. This 17-year-old shows up and proves himself to be just as strong, if not stronger than Namek Saga Goku. You know, the guy that trained with God multiple times for years on end. There he is. I wanted to thank you for killing Frieza. Huh? But then what is this supposed to mean? He says he's too soft to finish him, but he did. Sure, he gave him power to save him, but right after Frieza persisted, and that's when Goku was forced to kill him. Like, this man got turned into fried chicken. He's done. He's dust. Goku learns how to teleport completely off screen, which sucks booty cheeks, because one of my favorite parts of the series is seeing Goku learn an ability and giving it its own identity. Goku learns the shittiest Kamehameha ever, and then learns how to use it, maneuver, or do it with his fucking toes. Oh man, I miss this so much. Say You Will is the first song of the melancholic journey that 808s and Heartbreak is. He says the song is, quote, about an ex-girlfriend you call on Friday nights just to have sex. And she says she'll come over, but you wait all night and she still doesn't come knocking on your door. It's like being teased for nights on end with something that is long gone. This song plays with that very well building to a climax for 6 minutes that is never met by the end. It just ends in a painful silence. The Android Saga feels like if the X did show up that Friday. Nothing feels as good as it once used to. Even Goku's transformation feels so underwhelming, despite it being the most groundbreaking moment less than 50 chapters ago. But this is only our introduction to this saga, and you know, when biting your teeth into it, there's actually a lot to talk about. After Trunks explaining he comes from a future invasion by androids, the Z-Team completely fails to evacuate civilians from this very same attack, and Goku caught COVID? So there's like only one thing. Only one person left to redeem the story for me. And it's not Gohan, it's not Trunks. Hell, it's not even Krillin. I love you, Krillin. It is the same character that without fail manages to steal the show in each and every arc. Vegeta! The androids are incredibly strong, and through an analysis, Android 19 deduces that Vegeta's not worth worrying about. Their only surprise yet, really, was that Goku could turn Super Saiyan. But that doesn't matter now that motherfucker got COVID. But you know, knowing that Vegeta is a f***ing bum, they don't expect the same as him.
You say you were watching the whole time, but you missed the part that mattered. We know your capabilities, Vegeta.
You seemed awfully surprised when Kakarot became a Super Saiyan. You thought your mathematical projections would tell you all you needed to know. We Saiyans can't be reduced to numbers. I'm curious if androids can feel fear.
This line right here is layered with so much subtext by it being Vegeta saying it. This is the man that lived by his scouter to tell others power levels. Yet now he says that a Saiyan can be reduced to numbers because Goku forced them to change his worldview. Goku showed him just how worthless such powers are. Add this to the fact that by numbers, there are little to no Saiyans left. That adds a little bit of irony, subtext that is just so good. Vegeta understands that being strong is not a power level. One of Ye's most iconic songs on this album is Love Lockdown, a track all about restricting yourself. Ye has been hurt in so many ways that his solution in this track is to restrict the love that comes in from others. If there's no love, there's no pain, right? Ye regresses his thoughts and feelings through this painful heartbreak, but here, Vegeta does the opposite. He reflects on his former self and gains a new point of view. He strips himself of his pride, of everything. He understands that being strong isn't just a power level. It's not about being better than Kakarot or ever being the better person, but to simply letting a flaw that is so human, such a core to you, finally die out. And that brings what is without the doubt my favorite moment in the saga. I wonder if androids feel fear. Vegeta transforms. Oh my god, I can't help it. Vegeta is so fine.
Oh my god, bro, is dick riding all you do?
With his new acquired power, his flaws quickly start crawling back up. It's like getting a quick taste of power after being humbled and going right back to your bitch self. He lies and says that he became the most powerful through pure evil, and that being stronger than Kakarot was the only reason for this transformation. I remember as a kid seeing this scene and just thinking to myself, wow, he really is evil. But now I get it. He is so obviously lying. The reason he's able to become Super Saiyan is because he's been in touch with the calmer side of him he had never shown before this. He ain't pure evil, nah. He's just gotten soft. But my sweet baby teddy bear Vegeta can't admit that. Nah, of course not. And God, I love him for that. I love Vegeta. The walk, the everything, the goat is back. Toriyama is back on his motherfucking pen, and he knows what he's doing. Or does he? This is when the table starts shaking again. Around this time was when Toriyama seemed to have a better idea of where to take the story. But Toriyama's previous editor shared with him a feeling that these antagonists were not threatening. So hurry up and introduce new villains. And Android 16, 17, and 18 came up. And you know, they're actually pretty fun villains.
No voy a permitir que me excites de nuevo, viejo sabroso.
They go ahead, humble Vegeta. They smack the goofy out of Piccolo. Ooh, y'all know I'm a freak for those impact shots. 16 is the walking Chad face, who has a strange love for nature that is mentioned like once or twice, but that'll be important later on. But still, to this editor, that's not enough.
What's this? You're making some teenagers the main villains? Wrap it up, bro. You packed.
So unfortunately, that led to these guys being the villains for about 10 chapters, with only ever being a threat to the main fraud himself, Vegeta. Oh, and you know, giving Krillin the baddest bitch in the planet, they were quickly overshadowed by Toriyama's next great idea.
A bug?
Yeah, a bug. When have you ever thought about it? Mixing the futuristic with the natural? That's cool, right?
He don't look cool, though.
How about this?
You look ugly as hell.
Okay, how about this?
That's perfect.
I'd be a fucking liar if I said that Perfect Cell isn't the most sauced up, most classy ass villain to ever touch this green earth. But let's dial back to when Cell looked like this. Piccolo prides himself as the savior of the situation. Right now, they don't need a god, they need me. And the fact that Piccolo, one of the first characters to get humbled in the series, says this shows that the main theme of this arc is regression. Right, he used to be the great demon king. I completely forgotten. And all this time, he's still been plotting? So I think taking over the world is a pose. He's just like Goku and Vegeta. He just wants to be stronger than anybody else, that's all. Now he's gone to figure out his last resort, his trump card. The characters are slowly reverting back and prohibiting themselves from real growth. The reason they grew in the first place was because they let these aspects of themselves, such as evil and pride, go away. But because it's part of the root of their characters, it's not a one-time and it's done type of thing. Our characters struggle with this fundamental trait in them, like real people. Streetlights is one of the saddest songs in the already tragic 808s and Heartbreak. It's a song about constant repetition with your mistakes, symbolizing the streetlights flowing by. Tackling destiny, tackling the when. When will you let this pain you feel fade away? When will you stop throwing this pain at others? When will you rip these mistakes and let yourself grow? When will you let yourself be loved again? Kanye is not ready, and we don't know if he'll ever be. Goku will die. Once Goku takes Gohan to train to prepare against his fight with Cell in the incredibly convenient time chamber that has never ever been brought up once through the entire series. Yeah, Toriyama's just making shit up as he goes on. We've gone over that fact a long time ago.
Meanwhile,
Oh my god, Vegeta, you're the GOAT! Piccolo got his powers drained, Tien isn't doing jack shit, and what the fuck is that? I hate Super Vegeta. Not only is it in an ugly ass form, but it also goes against what gives our character strength in Dragon Ball. Why did he go above Super Saiyan for being a genuine asshole? The point of growth in Dragon Ball is to strip part of your core, whatever that may be. But alas, hating will only take you so far because he got packed too. Goku will die. This is the point that Toriyama starts laying the seeds for this idea. This wild idea of removing our main character from the story in a way so unfamiliar from Shonen. Our characters will have to face their biggest death yet, the death of Goku. And in a way, he knows this. After getting off the time chamber, Gohan got his brand new fit on and oh my god, my boy's looking clean! Goku asks Korin if, after all this training, Goku's stronger than Cell. In which Korin responds, "You always ask me the most difficult questions. As I said, this is only speculation, but honestly, I'm afraid Cell is stronger than you." Gohan looks horrified, but Goku just thanks him for the information. Said, "I thought so. I guess right." Goku is well aware that he is past the stage of his life that he can train past the next opponent so easily. Even when this incredibly broken plot device is presented for them, that may not be enough for Goku. Goku may be regressing like the others in their mentalities, but he is conscious of his body and most importantly, its limits. This moment really shines on what makes Goku real as fuck. This is not the kid that would throw himself to absolutely everything with certainty he'll figure a solution. This is a man that knows what it is to have limits, and unfortunately for Goku, he just met them. I told him he doesn't seem to stand a chance and he seemed happy. Could he simply be accepting his fate? No clue on how to beat it. Goku launches himself with everyone else to fight. The Avengers are here, right? What? What is your goofy ass doing here? Hey Yamcha, you back there too, bro. Don't think I don't see you. This is a great time for me to talk about the art of this arc. It's really not as strong as the previous arcs, but the art is still incredibly strong with those impact shots that I love, and it's all like really clean. These are one of the rare occurrences that I will talk about the anime because they go crazy for this fight. Seriously, this might be my favorite fight in the whole anime. Before, you know, Dragon Ball Super Broly did its thing. The fact that they were able to animate Cell to such an expressive degree when they need to draw every single one of these little dots around his body is insane. And they match the speed. That speed that you only feel while you're flipping those pages of this manga. Oh my god, I'm alive. But even in this fight, Goku realizes he can't win. He's not gonna win this fight. And this is where Lil Wayne comes in. I promise I will find a way to link my love to Lil Wayne to Dragon Ball.
Lil Wayne was just
You gotta give Wayne the love.
too good.
But just listen to the way Lil Wayne sings in this song with his little range. Oh lord, there's very few voices in this world like him, and in See You in My Nightmares, his feature brings this combination of different sounds that are almost melodic. It's the goodbye of this horrible relation. We need to move on and close this chapter of our life. This song is still part of the stain of tragedy that the rest of the album has, but that's part of the narrative even as the conclusion is coming near. So as Goku prepares to do his exit and let his son take care, he does one of the most controversial actions that are still talked about to this day.
Krillin, still got one of those senzu beans? Hey, Cell, catch!
Now, a lot of people are probably wondering what I think about this scene. Does it show Goku as a deadbeat piece of shit? Is this actually good and he's just placing his trust in his son? Where do I side? Well, I'm in the middle, and I think that's the point. Goku wants to break Gohan's kindness, something that has both done harm and good in Goku's life. He knows Cell is a soulless monster, unwilling to change like Frieza, but he wants Gohan to not even bother trying to spare such an incredibly hypocritical monster. And that's understandable. A father that doesn't want his son to make the same mistakes. He wants to give Gohan a fair fight, something that Gohan doesn't particularly care about, but it's important to give Goku the peace of mind that the world will be safe under his son's hand. Remember, Goku will die. It's very great since it diminishes his son's present feelings and Goku's mentality can be seen as hypocritical, but I think this moment of fragility is one of my favorite lead-ups to a realization that the action of our main character is not right. I don't like to fight like that does. I don't want to kill anybody, not even somebody as awful as you. That's crazy. Piccolo, who is honestly Gohan's only father at this point, can't stomach seeing Gohan suffer any longer. Goku tells him to wait, to let Gohan's rage be unleashed like it did for Goku back then. He wants to justify his negligence by thinking, the pain that I went through made me this strong, so my kid has to suffer as well. Which is just, oh my god, it burns. It's messed up. It's so messed up that our character that we've been following since he was this little twerp is saying these things about his own kid, being so ignorant to his suffering, and the story knows this.
Do you know what's going on in Gohan's mind right now? Well, it's not rage. He's thinking, why won't Dad help me when I'm in so much pain?
And as Goku's change of heart strikes him, Android 16 launches himself to self-explode on Cell. And it doesn't do shit. This is supposed to be like this big emotional scene, but in all honesty, I lost my shit laughing when it happened. It has to be one of the lamest deaths in anything I've ever read. I'm sorry, I was not moved by 16's death. Honestly, I'm just astonished by how little they did with him before this, and how much they're banking on his character for this moment alone. His relationship with really any character has been very bare bones, but this scene wants to create a dynamic with Gohan that feels like it's barely existed since then. They want to run back Krillin instead in the Namek Saga, but that works so much stronger because we know Krillin. This is a character we've been knowing and loving for almost as long as our main character. I thought that Android 16 and Gohan were going to have more of a relationship before this death, but they never spoke to each other. I don't think this death is good at all, but at least it brings a nice speech about protecting nature and oh my god! Oh my god, Toriyama. Christ, you are the inventor of the words peak, raw, shonen, go, go, go. I've been talking about this song until this moment because it is so perfect for Super Saiyan 2. Heartless by Kanye West is a song that stuck around like the best sore thumb that could ever happen to you and touched the sound of the day.
Damn, you just had to throw this in. Having to be just like moment passing. This is my shit, bro. I still owe my cousin the 808s in Heartbreak City. I was singing Streetlights really sad, like I had some shit to be sad about.
Not just a song about heartbreak, but a song about music as a double-edged sword. In one side about therapy. Kanye spends his album talking about heartbreaks. He can barely grasp the things going on around him, like the death of his mother, and that is so incredibly human. Really, in the hardest deaths I've had to deal with, I'm barely thinking about what's going on in front of me. Hungover over an ex, or counting the minutes till I get home. It's incredibly immature, but it's a natural process. In this song, he basically addresses personally his ex-fiancée. Kanye admits his darkest insecurities in the song, constantly attacks himself, but despite that, he won't let himself be belittled to someone he deems to be so heartless. Kanye is broken, but this won't stop Kanye from being Kanye. Oh, this power, this sauce. Oh man, I love everything about it. Its meaning and strength. It's taking a toll on Gohan. This is just perfection in a screen. Gohan feeling and experiencing a feeling that is so strongly unlike him brings to a form not even performed by his father. I don't like the fight though. I'm gonna get cooked for this, but I really do not care for this fight. What I love about Goku going Super Saiyan against Frieza is that it didn't immediately mean that Goku was going to win. Goku was still bleeding and struggling even past his transformation, which only enhanced the stakes. Here, after this transformation, Gohan belittles and overpowers Cell so easily that there's no real intrigue in this fight. There's no question of who's gonna win, which is fine because Toriyama always makes beatings fun. But this fight is nowhere near as enjoyable as Goku vs Frieza for me. The main problem of this arc is that there are a lot of great ideas, but without a proper road to get there. It's like driving through Skid Row to get to Little Tokyo. The roads are messed up, and then one little turn, bam! It's like you're in a completely different state. And you know, there's something so obviously wrong about this economic inequality and what the f am I talking about again? Point is, the balance of quality in this arc is so bad because it doesn't bother building scenes with strong fortitude, but it kind of throws shit together to get a really cool scene. After getting packed, turns out Cell has a self-destruct option this whole time, which, you know, I'll let slide. And thus, this is Goku's moment of redemption. He gives up his life in a way that I kinda love. He realizes what he was doing to his son is wrong and that he is proud of him. Gohan has surpassed him, and his journey will be one above what Goku knows and understands. And in a way, he doesn't see a place in that future. Tell Mom I'm sorry. It's a very strong death, one that I hope they stick to. But importantly, it brings this idea that time passes, that what was our present would just become another memory. As strong and grand Goku and Frieza was, that's in the past now, immortalized by those who remain. Goku becoming merely a memory is real. And you know, With the arc reaching its climax, I think this is a good time to talk about Cell and how he symbolizes all these themes. He's raw, that's it. And Trunks, you are a fucking bum. What do you even do? He goes on an insanely long explanation on how he remained alive, and like, honestly, it's so fucking stupid. He learned how to teleport like Goku, and it's so obvious Toriyama's just doing all this because he really wanted to show a really special scene. A scene that is so iconic, I can let it slide. Because the father-son Kamehameha is one of the most beautiful things I've seen. And like the whole conclusion in this arc, I dig it. Vegeta helps out on distracting Cell when he's about to kill Trunks, showing that Vegeta, my little Pookie Bear, actually cares about someone. And when they obviously try to revive Goku immediately, he's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm sorry, son. And tell your mom I'm sorry. But don't bring me back to life, okay? Gohan's more dependable than I ever was anyway. Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama.
There is no Gucci I could buy. There is no Louis Vuitton to put on.
What is probably one of the greatest songs in Kanye's catalog, and the greatest song in this album without a doubt. Pinocchio Story is all about truths and lies. This is Kanye at his truest. Not saying anti-Semitic shit or whatever the f this was. This is Kanye.
Quite impressed with the new album.
Oh wow, great. Yes, thank you. I'm glad somebody likes it other than just me.
Or maybe it all is him. Kanye puts the blame on himself, no excuses. He blames himself for the death of his mother and every choice that brought him to where he is today. He remixes a lot of the sounds from the entire album. It's a freestyle album, and god, it's great. It's so good. He breaks down his distaste for fame, ironically singing it in a live concert in front of a live audience, hearing his confession. Do you really have the stamina for everybody that sees you that say, where's my camera? For everybody that sees you to say, sign an autograph? This song is merely an extension of the album. It doesn't really feel like a part of it. I mean, it's a live performance. There's no studio version of this song. And just like that, Trunks' backstory is special. Instead of ever being officially part of the arc, in this story, we see Toriyama's attempt of the dystopian future. The androids have completely taken over the world in their own juvenile fun. Goku and most of the Z fighters are dead, except for Gohan. There's no hope to bring anyone back with the Dragon Balls because Piccolo has long passed, and that helps out bring the desperation of this short story. It's just Gohan and Trunks. He takes the role of the professor, and we don't really see this level of maturity from Gohan, well, never. This is a version of Gohan that was forced to grow up past any childness. He's the only hope the world has to fight the androids, and this is a great moment to say that he looks fucking awesome. From the hair, the look, the scar, and the missing arm, that motherfucker had that shit on. You know he's been through a lot just from this look alone. This is one of the few moments that Dragon Ball just sticks to a death, so when you see Trunks' reaction and his knowledge that there is no chance of Gohan ever coming back, it hits. Despite barely having any screen time, this is the effectiveness of a permanent death. It sticks with not only our characters, but also the reader. This person that we love is gone, and there's no chance of them ever coming back.
Life is not all or nothing. Life sometimes is a ration of this and a ration of that to make the perfect mixed drink.
彼は編集の方は随分あなたを励ましたりいろいろなさった方なんですか？その間中は。そうでもない。励ましたというか、
割とこう書いて送るとダメだな、全然面白くないよとか言われて。
Life. My mom had passed a year before, and I said, you know, some people drown themselves in drugs, and I drowned myself in my addiction.
Which was what?
Sex.
めったに喋ったことなかったですから真面目なんです。
I remember my mother bought me a bear that was multicolored, and I was very into Takashi Murakami at that time on that third album, Graduation. So she bought it. She said it kind of, you know, feels like Takashi Murakami, and then I was sort of like, I don't want that. That ain't no Takashi Murakami bear and stuff like that. And then she passed, you know, a few weeks after, and I did, you know, everything I could to find that bear and place that bear on top of all the Takashi Murakami stuff I had in the house.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's here with us, and she's got...
2248万部という大変な部数なんですけれども、これからもまた連載ずっと続けてらっしゃるから。
This is a song I wrote for my mother back in 2000. It's one of my favorite songs. And I saved it for the opportunity to be on the Oprah show and perform it for her.
singing the world premiere of Hey Mama, Kanye West!
We know Trunks has suffered, and with the end of the Cell Saga, and him now going back to his timeline, he is left with the pieces of the future he needs to save. And there is no Geppetto to guide me, no one right beside me, the only one was behind me. I can't find her no more, I can't call her no more, I can't